this Himalayan pink salt is supposedly what the remains that is left over from Nephilim.
Super Canon Plus.
Well, boys, the holidays are upon us.
The
How was y'all's
holy
Thanksgiving?
days.
Sure. Well, yeah.
Sure, why not?
Well, I just want to tell you. So
The
we had
off days.
yeah, exactly. It was great to not be at work. That
Mhm.
was the biggest blessing of all. But
Right.
had you guys see? Now we're in the internet age. Have you seen all these videos, little shorts of people making their turkey and it not being done on the inside? Like the outside's nice and brown, looks perfect, like like the one from the TV commercial, and they cut into it and it's only cooked about that far into the breast meat, and it's all pink and nasty on the inside.
Now, is this traditional baking, or is this someone deep frying and not leaving it in the oil long enough?
Yeah, it was a bunch of them.
Well, deep frying is going to have the hot oil all in the inside too. So
yeah,
I can't imagine that wouldn't be cooked through. But
I think it's probably
well,
like
I
people on
mean,
the
if you
smoker.
only dunked it for, the outside would cook very quick.
Just a quick baptism.
Yeah,
just a quick, Father, Son, and the holy oil there.
There you go. Well, it's the anointing oil. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that holy anointing peanut oil. I don't know. I mean, I know I haven't seen the videos, but I mean, as somebody who has cooked a long time, I don't know. Are they just not defrosting the turkey before they toss it in there? Or
I don't know. It just looked wild because normally you see the pictures of people burning them to a crisp or cooking them till they're drier than the desert and Sahara. But these ones were like, I guess maybe they were this year's the trend is like, okay, only 160 degrees and yada yada yada. But everybody was cutting into them and they looked all nice. Everybody sitting down at the table and they were like, "What's this?"
No, but have y'all seen the video of the mom and dad that pranked the kids?
Oh,
having them carve this. Joe, if you hadn't seen it,
I've seen it.
For those of you guys that haven't seen it, it is.
Now, you talking about carving it or cooking it?
Well, no. Well, I think there is one of young girls that were going to be helping with preparing it and cooking it or whatever.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
But the one where they were they had already cooked it and they pulled it out. What they made was a turkin, right? Not a turducken.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they put a chicken inside the turkey and cooked it all together. So when they pulled it out, the kids see that they're like, "It was pregnant."
Yeah, nothing like traumatizing your children.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, though, if they're freaking out about that, they missed a lesson in school or in going to the grocery store. There's this whole aisle called eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if the kids are that upset, they missed a few lessons somewhere along the way.
Yeah, one or two. Definitely from the city, for sure. I just think
well, of course, too, this time of year is when you see the videos, and if it's not AI generated, we were talking about the deep fryer earlier, where people deep fry, the oil gets too hot, spills over the side. Next thing you know, you're burning stuff down, man.
The house is on fire. Yeah.
I saw one years ago. Somebody was on their apartment, in their second floor apartment, on the balcony.
Yeah.
And basically about burnt the whole place down. Like it just
nice little wind.
And the other thing too, that we're talking about people and your understanding of things. And you mentioned, Kyle, about, hey, was the turkey not thawed all the way? Now, I did learn this for the first time this year. Because I cook our turkeys every year. They turn out delicious 100% of the time. I haven't missed yet.
So he says.
So says, I have nothing left over when it's all said and done.
But
that's your proof. When people who don't normally eat turkey go, you know what? I don't normally eat turkey, but yours is good. And I was like, cool.
That lets you know. Yep.
So,
Now, do you deep fry yours?
No, I have a Butterball deep fryer from a long time ago. It's electric. The problem with that is it will cook the turkey. Don't get me wrong. And it turns out great. But it will not hold temperature at 375. So it will get to 375 and then it's all electric, so it will actually, the light will click on, when it's at temp. As soon as I drop the bird in, of course, because the bird's a little bit cold,
Oh yeah.
it drops temperature, but it will never. I can sit there and cook it for 4.5 hours. Just to give you an idea, and normally deep frying, doesn't usually take that long when you're
No.
using the traditional way. So I have to leave it in a little bit extra long, but it's like, and that became one of the biggest complaints of the electric ones is they won't hold temp, and they won't get all the way back to temp and hold it. But anyway, I'm getting way past where I was gonna get to.
Okay, my bad.
So this is what I according to the cooking instructions, because the one thing I always do forget is how many minutes in the oven per pound. So roughly it's about 13 minutes per pound if you're roasting in the oven. And so, okay, cool. Now, in the instructions on Google, it did say, and I'm assuming this is a thing, this is how long for a thawed bird, and this is how long for a frozen bird. I have never heard of anybody in
Straight
my
from the
life.
freezer.
See, this is where Google's will be messing some people up. Oh, just leave it in 2 hours longer. It'll be fine. It's like, I don't know about that, but it basically give you instructions on if the bird was still frozen, how to cook it. I'm like, I have never heard of anyone cooking a frozen turkey. You have?
No, I got a question.
Oh, I thought you were about to say you had. I was like, well, how'd it turn out?
No, I got a question.
Sure.
How are you at all possible seasoning this turkey that's frozen?
Yeah.
You're not.
You're not.
You're not.
Who wants that?
Yeah. You're going to duct tape 2 sticks of butter to the top of it or something? I don't know.
Dude, you talked about somebody about burning an apartment complex down. We had somebody, I mean, this was, golly, it was probably somewhere between 5 and 10 years ago. I don't know exactly, but it was back in the day. I was leaving the boat ramp and there was an apartment complex on fire then. And sure enough, somebody had stuck a frozen turkey in a deep fryer.
Yeah.
At the apartment complex.
Nice.
2nd floor.
Did they lay down a piece of cardboard first, at least?
Oh, you got to put the cardboard on to catch all the drippings, So
hey, dude, there are pictures online of people with the cardboard in their kitchen.
Oh my gosh! Don't ever listen. If
I'm like another flammable source.
Whoever is listening to this broadcast right now,
right?
For the love of everything sacred and holy, do not ever deep fry your turkey inside your house the traditional propane way.
Or in your garage.
In your garage, or on the balcony at your apartment complex, near the wood line. I mean,
on dry grass.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, just go do a YouTube search or a search online and look at all of the. Some of it's funny and some of it's tragic, man. People literally, when I say the one I was watching, I'm pretty sure they had burnt like literally 3/4 of the apartment complex down because once hot oil like that goes, one, you're not prepared for that. You're not prepared to put that out. Two, people are just going to freak out. Then they're going to turn around and throw water on it, which is what you don't do. And you just, you're right. You just spread it around and now you just cause the fire to get bigger. Then more panic. Now the drapes are on fire. Now you
can't breathe, and you just got to run.
Yeah. So, yeah, it just reminds me of that one video. The lady said, "Lord Jesus, it's a fire."
And I
grab my shoes and nothing. Jesus, got bronchitis. But
Lord have mercy.
So yeah, it's crazy, man. It comes this time of year. Everybody be safe.
Yeah.
Just be safe, be smart. Don't, and for Pete's sake, you just said it. Don't cook a frozen turkey in your oven. Don't cook a frozen turkey in your deep fryer. Don't cook a frozen turkey at all. If you're not prepared, just go to Chinese. I don't know what to say. Just go somewhere else. Go to
Golden Corral, baby.
Yeah, I was gonna say Golden Corral. That's right.
All right.
Kyle knows a little bit about that.
Go to Subway and get a turkey sandwich, something.
Yeah, turkey sandwich.
But I'm not gonna lie, man. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna lie. We always have to do multiple, events with my side of the family, Eve's side of the family, all that kind of good stuff. So we decided to make things a little easy on us this year, and on my side of the family, we did the big family thing at Eve's mom and dad's house. Where everybody cooked and all that. But this year we decided not to do that at my family, my side of the house, my family's house. We went and we met up at Golden Corral. We had a nice lunch. And then we went back to my mom's house and just got to relax and chill the rest of the day. And it was awesome. No cleanup, got to spend tons of time with the family. You didn't have half the family in the kitchen over here and half the family over here. Everybody was together. It was really nice. So,
Hey, Kyle, I got a question.
It ain't the same as home cooking. Don't get me wrong.
Man, I got a question for you though. How many kids are over at the chocolate fountain putting their fingers or their mouth in it?
Don't know.
Golden
Didn't
Corral?
go. Don't
What's
know.
that?
Didn't go. I said I don't know. I didn't go there.
To the chocolate fountain?
Yeah, no.
Dude, I can tell you, look, man, I can witness that I've been there and seen the kids putting their fingers in it and going just like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's one of the things where, like, if you go to Golden Corral, unless you know for a fact you're the first people there.
Even
and
then,
there's been no cross contamination happening.
That's where you go to find patient zero.
I've seen it where the kids are sticking their mouth and licking at it as it's going down and then putting their fingers in it, and I'm like,
dude, people were lined up for this turkey and stuff, and I'm like, y'all do realize they've got steak right there.
Yeah, boy.
So that's what I had.
There you go.
Steak, mushrooms, man, it was good. And the steak, you ain't got to worry about somebody else touching it. It's the guy behind the counter with the gloves on, with the fork, the knife, and he just hands it, puts it on your plate.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, after he dropped it on the floor. But other than that, no big deal.
Oh, don't give me like that. So it wasn't home cooking, but it was good. It was really nice because we got to spend time with family. So that was really good.
That's good.
I would give you kudos, but I have one complaint. And I'm going to look down on you a little bit.
Oh, boy.
It's Thanksgiving, man. And you spent time with your family and made other people not spend time with their family. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
But then they would have worked anyway.
Yeah, they'd have been working anyway. And I ain't going to lie. I got to thinking about that too. I really was thinking about that too myself. And, I always really kind of enjoy. If I ever had something where it was a service industry where you receive tips and stuff like that, let me tell you something. The amount of money you make on days like that is unbelievable.
It's worth it.
It's definitely worth it. And the lady that we had that was, getting our tea and stuff, man, she was awesome. So kudos to her. She had a great attitude the whole time, and she made out like a bandit that day. I can promise you. She had 2 more tables like ours. She went home happy.
Oh,
happy.
Let me tell you something. For somebody who worked in the food industry for a little while myself, working in a place like that for a holiday, I guarantee you there was the chefs throw a little extra something on, so everybody's taking something home later that night too. So yeah, so yeah, we got you. Don't worry about it. Here's a little extra something. That's your bonus for today. Take this home to your family, and
Nice.
But yeah, I cooked. I think this is the most turkey I've ever cooked. I cooked 40 pounds.
Was it 2 different birds?
Yeah, it wasn't one. That'd be
okay. I was like,
I think we're talking about hybrid Nephilim turkey. If I had a 40-pound turkey, he's over there with
that
a
was
tattoo.
An ostrich show.
That bird had a tattoo with mom on his wing. He's like,
right.
What's up?
Served a couple years in the Navy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like you got room and oven for this one. It's like it's like a Bronto turkey, from the Flintstones. It's like,
right. I didn't know you could have turkey ribs. Well, this turkey's got ribs.
Well, BJ's had, if you spent $150, you got a free bird. So that's easy to do when you go there to buy stuff, and it's like, okay. So we got a 21.82 pound bird. We say for free. Nothing free in life, but I'm sure it's hidden in the cost somewhere. But it makes you feel better when you're leaving. Hey, look what I got. And so we had another one that was 19 point something pounds. So it all technically 40 pounds. I will tell you what
It all got gone.
Yeah, we had we ate the one bird pretty much complete. We had about 30 family members come over. Turkey Day. Pretty much wiped out the first bird. The second bird, I went ahead and I let it rest and just cut it up later. And we made for Shabbat, my daughter-in-law made turkey dumplings instead of chicken dumplings. So she took and shredded it all up real fine. And
Okay.
so she made like literally probably 3 gallons of that. And so then and all that was gone.
Oh, nice.
About it, yeah.
I just remembered something I had to share with you, and I can't believe I haven't told you already. You told me about that WKRP in Cincinnati episode, the turkey drop.
Yep.
Dude,
Les Nessman.
Yep, I saw a guy at the Golden Corral wearing a t-shirt with WKRP turkey. I was like, yes, this is so cool. Okay. Sorry.
So, but other than that, yeah, it was good. And for me, with my turkeys, I like to I buy the injectables, so I inject them with a Creole butter, Cajun flavor, and then I put a stick of butter inside the cavity, and then I had a what would technically be a meat rub, but it was just it's all purpose, rub, and I put that all over it, and it was like it was awesome.
Heck
So,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, and so I want to hear everybody's favorite Thanksgiving food or recipe or thing that was killer bees this year, because they're always fun. It gives us new ideas on what to make next year. But you were talking about a good turkey. Let me tell you this turkey I saw. So this is one of these little YouTube videos. And I know, Joe, I know you know what I'm talking about. That lady who's always making crazy stuff, and the guy's always like, "Ooh, what's that?"
Yeah.
She it's hard to even say. Oh my gosh. So first of all, they start off with the guy walking in the kitchen, and this turkey's like ghostly. I mean, I'm talking about paper white, and so you already know something's wrong, right? Your turkey should at least have some color on it. You should
a little yellowish or something. Yeah.
You should melanate
wait
your
a minute,
turkey.
you're
That's all
saying
I'm saying.
the turkey is already cooked and looks this way?
No, it's before it goes in the oven.
Oh, okay.
It is 100%
zero seasoning.
Yes, well, okay. So it's completely unmelanated, right? So then the camera gets closer and closer, and all of a sudden it just kind of looks like a I don't know, like wispy, I guess is the right word. Like, so it looked like little waves all over it. So this lady covered her turkey with mayonnaise, was her seasoning, and a couple, like I'm talking about, how you can like tap the black pepper and like a little bit falls out, like about 6 of those little taps across the top of it. So there's little black specks all throughout that you could barely see. It's just that was her ready for the oven. A mayonnaise rub.
Now, I don't know if you noticed or not, Jonathan, but that is a common binder I've seen guys doing briskets and a lot of different meats, red meats that way, where they'll use mayonnaise for a binder, and they'll put the seasoning on there on top of that.
Then they put the seasoning on it.
Right.
Yeah, she stopped with the mayonnaise. She was done.
But that's just kind of weird just to have that much mayonnaise and no seasoning. I mean, that's what it's for. It's for the binder part of that, where you're going to put stuff on there.
Like, it looked like she was going to, like, how you get like shaving cream on your face? Like, it looked like that, but mayonnaise.
Did they show an after of it?
No, I wasn't interested. I don't even know how I finished it.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, mayonnaise is egg and oil, right?
Yeah. Give it a nice little condition.
I mean,
and what taste did we get? White meat with white mayonnaise?
I mean,
you don't taste the mayonnaise no more. I promise you that.
You're just eating just turkey.
Yeah, you just eating
essence
just
of
turkey,
bird.
I guess.
Well, maybe it makes an instant turkey sandwich. You just cut into it, and you already got the mayo on there. It's like just
tomato slice. Call it a day.
I mean, the only thing I can think of, because clearly there's no seasoning unless they put something on the inside of the bird or whatever.
It wasn't. That was it.
The only thing I can think of is that oil just kind of helps. That mayonnaise just kind of helps retain the moisture of the bird.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure there's a little bit of that.
That's what it's for.
But not a one season.
There was no seasoning before the mayonnaise was
not
applied.
A sage, not a rosemary, not a bay leaf. Even the basic stuff that don't even really taste that like anything strong. Yeah. No salt, just mayonnaise and a few sprinkles of black pepper. That was a bad Thanksgiving for somebody.
I guess whatever floats your boat, man. I don't know.
Oh.
Now, the other way I've heard of people cooking their turkeys, because they always say the white meat's going to be dry because it's usually what's on top, right? And so they will cook the turkey breast down, and so that while it's cooking, all the juices are going to that, because that's the bigger part of all the meat. So I've never tried that, but I've been tempted to. My wife won't let me. She's like, "Don't do that." Okay. But that's why usually the a lot of people like the dark meat, because I love the dark meat anyway, regardless. But it's usually the juicier part because it sits in the bottom, and all the juices are all concentrating down there.
I'm gonna tell you a problem with the dark meat, and this happened to me this year. It's happened to me once before, but you get like a nice chunk of that leg, and you're like, yeah, I don't want the whole bone. I just want a nice chunk. And you start biting into it, and you get that long, hard bone tendon thing that's not in a chicken leg, but it is in a turkey leg. It'll mess your teeth up. Woo.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what is this hard bone in the middle of this meat?
Well, I know we probably been talking about this way too long, but I got to throw this in there. One year I was in charge of making the turkey, and I decided to smoke it. And I smoked that sucker for, good Lord, it was close to 24 hours.
Did you share it with everybody else while you were smoking it?
Yeah, take some, pass it around. Life, man. So pass it around. That's not one of them. But no, and when I got it there, I thought that people had an understanding of what something that has been smoked for a long time is supposed to look like on the outside. Apparently not, because everybody freaked out. They thought I just brought them a big old lump of charcoal, because it had that nice char on the outside. I mean, it was just it was mostly black, but it was this almost golden ruby red. So if you know meat smoking, right? Right. And they were just like, ain't no way I'm not eating that. And I'm like, fine. Yeah. And I just kind of just paper thin that skin off of there, and it was just fall apart, the whole thing. Didn't have to use a knife at all. It was amazing.
There you go.
Wow.
So anyway.
All right. Well, speaking about cooking and blood and everything else, I want to bring up a topic that's been grabbing some traction here lately, and it's about eating blood. And we know there's biblical, huh? Yeah,
kind of like that raw turkey.
Well, yeah. I was like, this thing, if it still got some gobble in it, no,
all done.
But yeah, it's been something it's made me stop and pause for a minute and think about it. So I'm just gonna throw it out there just to see what thoughts are and all that stuff. But we've talked about this before, and let me ask you this: when you hear the term eating blood, what comes to you guys' minds?
For me, it's that cow in Africa where they go and like poke it in the neck in the artery and then drink the blood out of it, and like that's part of like what they do whenever they have it's a whole documentary. I guess I'm not lying.
A whole documentary on this?
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
I've never heard of this.
It's like one of the ways that they get their like hydration and protein or whatever. Yeah. They like literally just poke a hole and like it would squirt out because it's a cow, so it's got a huge vein, and they would just like put their mouth on it and drink out of it like a fountain drink.
Oh, dude, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
So when you say drinking blood, that's what I think of. I'm like,
no, not drinking
or eating. Same difference. Yeah. And then the other one would be when I was in Germany, they had a lot of bloodwurst, which is like blood sausage.
Yeah.
So I don't think I ever had it, or if I did, I didn't know that I ate it. This was 15 years ago, but that was something that was option. That was an option for eating blood.
Well, now that I am totally disgusted and everyone has tuned off, we can discuss whatever we want. I don't know. All I think about is I think about the old pagan ways of doing things and the instructions that the Israelites were giving you. Don't go drink blood, or not the Israelites, excuse me. Noah and them, and don't consume blood. Don't eat blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was it Noah? It was Noah, right? Am I getting my story mixed up here?
Yeah. Well, in Genesis 9:4, Noah was instructed, says, but I actually have it up here on my screen. It says, but you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is its blood.
Mm.
And in Leviticus 17, verses 10 through 14, it says, Israel is forbidden to eat blood because the life of the flesh is in the blood. Blood is reserved for atonement on the altar. Deuteronomy 12:23 through 25 repeats the command. Only be sure that you do not eat the blood, for the blood is the life. And but go ahead, Kyle. I know you got maybe some more thoughts on that.
Well, I do have a thought. I have a question about y'all's opinion on something. So if I'm getting this off track, let me know and we can come back to it. But I know that that's something that we don't do as far as us three anyway. We don't eat the blood, right? We don't cook your meat well enough. You don't not eating the blood. And there's this big discussion about well, what does that mean? How well done do you cook your meat, kind of thing. And some say, well, it's fine to eat something that's, got a little pink and some of that red juice because that's not actually blood. And while we might have a modern idea as to what blood is and what blood is on a, we can study it on a molecular level and we can say, okay, this is classified as blood and this is not. 200 years ago, they looked at it and they said, that's red juice. That's blood. Right. So back in the day, around Noah's time, I'm assuming that they would have looked at it and said, red juice, that's blood. Right. So that's why I think it needs to be cooked fully. It doesn't mean you need to have dry meat. It just means it just needs to be cooked fully and get the blood out of it. All the red juice.
All the red juice. Gotcha.
Anyway, some people gonna argue with me on that, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and look, and this is always for those who are watching. Please comment, share your thoughts on this. But it's something I've been seeing it circulating more and more and more. And at first, I was like, yeah, whatever. It's kind of like not in a mean way. I wasn't really kind of dismissing it, not really kind of giving it a little bit, an ear to it. And then I keep hearing about it, and I was like, okay, I kind of understand more of what people are saying, because when we hear someone saying that or using the terminology, like you were saying earlier, Jonathan, like the drinking of the blood or we're eating the blood, I'm like, oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking that they're meaning. Like people literally like, putting a tap in the side of a cow's neck, turn it on and goes, hey, look, it's fresh here. But
well, there are the evil people out there that do that for the sake of consuming life force and
yes. And let's be honest. I mean, I've researched this a little bit. So that goes into the whole thing of magic, occult practices, because, literally God himself said there's life force in this. Don't drink it.
Yeah.
And so they're going to do the same thing. And when we went through our study of Jubilees, I don't have my book next to me. It's in the other room, but I was trying to remember, Jonathan, do you remember the terminology that Noah said to his son? Did he say not to eat or drink blood? I know we're going off of a translation, but
I do think it said eat too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because then what happened, we all know, we all kind of laughed about it. Then as soon as Noah passes on, they were all consuming blood.
Yeah.
And so anyway, just some thoughts on it. Because I started thinking about it. I was like, and you're right, Kyle, that was one of the things in researching this where people would say, hey, by the way, that you can Google it. They'll say, oh, by the way, it's not really blood. But then there's other people that have researched this and went in there medically and said, technically, it still is blood. The red juice, as you like to put it. And so the thing that started coming to my mind was, how did they deal with this back then? What was some practices that they had? And we've heard and we've read in the Bible before about hearing about them boiling meat. And so what happens when you boil meat?
It gets hot.
Yeah.
I mean, it cooks, but what are you getting at?
Well, what I'm getting
I don't boil too much meat, so you have to fill me in on that.
Right. So, and back when I used to eat pork, okay. So
I never like boiled chicken, so go ahead.
Right. But back when I used to eat pork, I would make my ribs, my pork ribs that everyone loved to, and
you'd boil them first.
But I would boil it. Now, when you boil it, you get a scum, this brown scum that comes to the top of the pot. Well, that's actually the blood that's inside that meat coagulating or whatever it's doing, that when it gets heated, it actually pushes it out of the meat and then brings it to the top. And so I started thinking about it, and I said, and I've seen people boil regular red meat before, and that's what you get. You can actually boil it, and it actually gets the remaining part of that blood out, and it floats to the top, and they call it scum, or they'll call it, whatever. And so then you could take the meat, eat it as it is, or you can then turn around and roast it or cook it any way you like to. But now you've actually removed all the blood or the majority of all the blood out of that meat. And so it's made me think a lot more, because the only time, and again, this is just fresh off the press, so don't. But I was thinking about this, and as I was doing a little bit of research into it, the only time that they're commanded not to boil the meat or to get all the life blood out is during the time of the Passover meal, where they would roast the lamb. And it says, hey, eat everything, don't leave everything, we all know the story. Don't leave anything till the morning. If you do, go and burn it all.
Right.
And I think there is a connection with that, with the life force of the blood as a symbolic means of the reason why possibly that's why that was the way it was. And then Yeshua himself being the Lamb of God, saying, take my body and eat it and drink of my blood for the covenant, because there's a life force, that life force again. So I think we have this mirroring picture of the Passover with what, Yeshua is. But going back to all that, it's like, it just made me start thinking about it, because I'll be honest with you, whenever someone would use the terminology eating the blood, I'm thinking, well, maybe it's just their way of saying drinking it, or eating meat that's really raw, that's still got blood coming out of it. And not realizing, could we be missing something here by not boiling the meat first, or doing what we can do to get the remaining part of that blood out? Because I've seen the pictures, and actually you can do the same thing, like when you boil chicken and that little bit of remaining blood that's in the chicken. My wife, she boils the chicken when she's making chicken dumpling soup and stuff like that. And she'll go and boil the chicken first, and that's how she cooks it. And I'll look at the top, and there's always that brown, the scum stuff, whatever it is, and that's the blood out of the bird. And so it just made me start thinking a little bit more about that, because let's face it, every time an animal is slaughtered, it is sacrificed, whether it's in a temple, whether it's in a Levitical system. Every time an animal is killed for the sake of food, it's literally being sacrificed. Life is being sacrificed for us. And so, and it's just something I was just thinking about. I was like, could this be one of the things that we're missing? Because I think it's in, man, all my books are not in my office right now.
I was looking for mine 2 minutes ago. My Jubilees is in another room.
Yeah, all my stuff's, because I was showing them during my last sermon. I was pulling them out, so they're still in the other room. But when Jubilees chapter 6 talks about how they will go astray in keeping of the Father's feast days and all that stuff, it's interesting, because I'm pretty sure at the end of that, it talks about, and they will consume blood. And I don't think it's necessarily me. I think it's what it is. We have lost a way of the understanding of what these things mean. And we don't think about it, because we grow up, hey, we've all three of us have cooked steaks, we've all cooked roast, briskets, we love our red meat. But it makes me wonder now, is like, is this one of those things too that the Father's now, along with a lot of other things that he's revealing to us, is like, hey, by the way, I know it's not, you haven't been doing it intentionally, but maybe there's another process or another step into us when we go to eat these meats, to ensure that we at least do our part in getting the remaining part of that blood out.
Well, and I got that verse pulled up for you. It is Jubilees chapter 6. It starts off in like the 30 range, where it talks about, if you keep the moon, you'll go out of season and all that, and the observations for the feast days. But the verse you're speaking to directly is verse 38. For this reason, I command and testify to thee, that thou mayest testify to them, for after thy death, thy children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason, they will go wrong to the new moons, and seasons and Sabbaths and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh.
All kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh.
So whether that's the blood in the flesh, or saying blood and then also eating unclean meats, like those fleshes, multiple flesh. What's the plural of flesh? Flesh.
Flourish.
Don't eat the flourish.
It's too many flourishes.
You sound like the Swedish chef off of the Muppets. Don't be the flourish.
Yeah, that's really making me think about, because especially when we're cooking deer meat or something like that. But I mean, you can do it with ground beef too. But there's always that little bit of, it's not fat, but there's that little bit of something when you're cooking ground beef that kind of coagulates, if you will, in the bottom of the pan.
Yep,
And
exactly.
I've always thought that that's what that is. Even though they drain the blood from the animal, it's like, no, that's blood there.
Yeah, that's the blood coming out. Yeah.
That's cool.
I was going to say that because when you cook a hamburger patty, especially if you cook it on the stove in a pan, that's when you will really see the brown stuff. Like I've seen it where I've let it set for a second while it's cooking and come back, and it's like literally a dome of the brown stuff on top. I usually just scrape it off, just move it.
Yeah.
But we're cooking on the grill. A lot of that's just because it's got somewhere to go, so it usually just falls down into the bottom of the grill and hits the what's that thing called at the bottom of the grill where it's like the splash, not the splash guard, but the so it doesn't hit the burners. Mine has one. It has like a little shield down there,
like
so
grease shields, yeah.
Yeah, something like that,
or even flame shields, yeah.
But so then it's just got me thinking a little bit more. Let's see if I got something else on this. So yeah, it talks about of course the first thing to do is hanging. It's about when you slaughter an animal, hanging it so that the blood can drain as much as possible. It says, here's another thing too. It says residual blood in the flesh was removed by rinsing with water. Well, that's okay. It says later, Jewish practice still seen in kosher preparation, adding salting. Coarse salt was rubbed into the meat to draw out the remaining blood, then the meat was rinsed again. It says this method ensured compliance with Leviticus 17 verses 10 through 14, where even traces of blood were forbidden. It says cooking practices, meat was often roasted or boiled, which further expelled. And according to this, it's saying that when it's roasted, it actually or boiled, it expels any remaining blood. Which that would make sense too, because when you roast something, it's real. Like I have a rotisserie at the house. I have a really cool one. It's a George Foreman. I've had it for like 30 years.
Him or his son?
And I've done a 16-pound turkey in that. So what happens is all that stuff gets forced out, and it just falls, as it's rotating. A lot of that stuff comes out while it's roasting. But what else does it say?
Let me toss this in there real quick.
Go for it.
We also have instructions that that all of the offerings must be salted with salt. That's kind of an odd phrase, right? What do you mean it needs to be salted with salt? What else are you going to salt something with, right?
Yeah.
It's because that phrase that's being used there, I don't remember exactly what it was. I can't remember if it was it's not a preservation thing. It's a
well,
it's almost like a cleansing type thing, if I remember
right.
correctly.
Well, the salt is good for killing bacteria, right?
Yeah.
Stuff that might be on the meat or some
bacteria, parasites, drawing out blood, drawing out that kind of stuff. Yeah. So
well, that's why it can last so long.
Right. Now you can absolutely, pack something in salt or whatever and preserve it that way. Right. But it said no offering, and an offering was usually something that was slaughtered and prepared and then offered, right? Cooked. So it's not, it's not something that's been sitting around, in a hole or a cave somewhere packed in salt, right? So this is not a preserved meat. So, and every offering had to be salted with salt, and that's just kind of an odd phrase. It's a very odd translation because.
I don't think it's a strange translation, because the more that you say it, I was thinking because you could just offer salt, here's some salt in my hand, here's my salt offering, but they're like, to salt something is to apply it. So I think it's saying that there's an application of the thing that's also an offering.
Right, but it's also you could also say it's seasoned with salt.
Yeah, similar.
Right, salt it with salt. Don't just salt it with oregano or whatever, right? I don't know. I just thought that was an odd phrase rather than saying seasoning, because you could construe that into being something else, right? This is not necessarily just for seasoning. This is serves a lot of purposes. But yeah, anyway, I just think that's really neat. And I hope I didn't get you too far off subject there, Joe. I'm sorry, but
mute, buddy.
You do have to unmute though for us to hear you there.
Technology. Well, it kind of, when you were saying, kind of made me think of the phrase, salt has lost its saltiness. We are the salt of the earth. I mean, there's a lot of different things here. Let's see. Let me see.
It's good for nothing to be thrown out in the street and trod upon.
Right.
I mean, your base says you're good for nothing, but
good old dirt.
Yep.
It says meat should be salted inside. I got a chart here, but let me see if I can just copy this image real quick. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna pull this up on a so I can actually see this chart real quick, because it's got Old Testament principles and different things in here. So
was Lot's wife preserved?
Oh yeah.
I wonder how salty that was.
I don't think we want to find out.
So the other day, we have some salt in our cabinet and pantry, cupboard, whatever you want to call it thing, and on the front of it says "Fine sea salt," and I was like, oh, "Okay, cool." And then it says, "Not a source of iodine, a necessary mineral or necessary supplement," or whatever it said on there, and I was like, "That's interesting." Because you don't ever hear about anybody taking, I mean, I know about it, but a lot of people don't even know about iodine or its importance or that we should be taking it all. And on this great value branded salt, so I'm telling you my budget, but this does not have iodine, a necessary nutrient. So it's like, you're right. Super chats will be sent straight to Jonathan. But yeah, it was just funny to see that on there, because salt has like magnesium and chlorides and all this other stuff in it, right? And iodine is a big part of why we need salt. It helps decalcify stuff in our body, yada yada yada, all this other good stuff. And then for them just to tell you this is a necessary nutrient and we don't have it, so you can pour all the salt you want all over your food and you're not gonna get no iodine out of this. And so it really shows you like how like our wheat is bleached and refined, our salt is bleached and refined, our sugar is bleached and refined. So like all the stuff that would be, not that bad. Sugar's never going to be good for you, but the version we have is terrible. You just get some regular cane sugar, it's probably okay. You just get some juice straight out the stick, you'll be all right. But
straight out the stick.
The stuff we got, you're like, goodness, the salt's bad, the flour's bad, the sugar's bad.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
No, I think you said it right the first time. Our bleach has been weeded. And our bleach has been sugared.
Try some wheat with your bleach. That'd be great.
Right.
But yeah, I just thought that was funny because we're talking about all the salt and like how it's made up and all that stuff. And I don't know if you guys remember, that's one of the few things from chemistry I remember. NaCl. Everything else I couldn't tell you, but that was the one of them. And iodine. There's always been a big deal about iodine. They're just like, yeah, this salt has none. So
that's one of the biggest scams in the food industry and pharmaceutical industry and medical industry that is out there, is this idea of eating a low sodium diet to or no salt diet, that kind of thing, to lower your blood pressure and all that. Like, there's generalities, but nobody should have the exact same blood pressure. I mean, that's not a normal, right? Like it's normal to be different, at least by a little bit. And cholesterol, that's another big scam there too. Like, we should be eating real salt, high in mineral content,
butter,
right?
And
we should be eating real butter, right? Like, that's the healthiest thing for you out there. And our bodies are deficient in all of that stuff. And the minerals that come from actual real good salt, our bodies are really, really deficient. Magnesium is one of the biggest deficiencies right now out there. And good salt is a good source of that. And it's not just this type of magnesium citrate, magnesium this and that and all this other stuff. Like, no, you need all of it.
Right.
Just magnesium. You need all the magnesiums. So
a lot of headaches, by the way. Little side note, if you got a bad migraine, sometimes a pinch of good salt.
Yep.
I've got a Celtic salt here. at the house, and it claims to have 80 or 88 of the minerals your body needs. So sometimes when we're which we're all in the mineral deficiency, I hate to say it, but we are. Sometimes your body's having a reaction. Go have a bad migraine. The first thing you reach for is an aspirin. Sometimes you just need some salt.
Yep.
Some good salt, not the what were you saying you had?
Yeah,
Great value.
Great value, Morton's, all
Morton's,
that stuff.
yeah. When you realize all that's trash, you're like, that literally is just for flavor, and that's it. It does nothing else for you.
Yeah,
Well,
I watched this
that's what
video.
Go ahead.
I watched this video, and this guy said the only thing that regular table salt's good for is cleaning your cast iron pans and pots. He said you shouldn't be using it for anything else in your kitchen,
That's
or
right.
like killing slugs, or putting out in the ice or something.
That's right. That's right.
I just remember this too as a child. I don't know if your parents did this or grandparents did this, but when you lost a tooth as a child, that's what they would put on our wound when the tooth would come out and it was, your mouth's all bloody. They would put salt to draw the blood out and to make it heal quicker.
Yeah, we used to gargle with salt
That's
water
an
afterward.
interesting thought. Yeah,
because it's antiseptic, antimicrobial, and then it helps dry it out. I don't think
Helps
it pulls
dry
it
it out
out
quicker.
but,
Yeah.
close the hole.
That makes a little more sense too about the meat now, don't it?
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah,
pack
it's
the
giving me
blood
a whole
in.
nother. I'm telling you right now, my brain's going all it's firing
Eh.
because it's like, if salt has lost its saltiness, what good is it?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
how important was this for the purpose of worshiping our Heavenly Father and being obeying His commandment, that you had to have good salt to do this, and if you had the bad salt, it says literally it was good for nothing but to be thrown out in the street and be walked on.
Doesn't it also draw toxins?
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
And I think a lot of stuff can't survive in a salt environment, like a highly
Right.
salty environment. Like even like bugs are like, we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had this real quick. I pulled this up. It says the preservation of purity. So this is talking about salt. Salt prevents decay in sacrifices that symbolize the incorruptible and enduring nature of God's covenant. It reminded Israel that their relationship with God was meant to be pure and everlasting. Covenant loyalty, the phrase salt of the covenant, Hebrewed malak barit Elohiki. I didn't say that one. Elo something, I don't know, was a known idiom in the ancient Near East. Salt was often used in treaty making ceremonies to signify binding obligations and fidelity. By salting sacrifices, Israel reaffirmed their commitment to God's covenant. Let's see what else it has. Salt enhances taste, which we all know that. Spiritually, it symbolized making offerings pleasing and acceptable to God, reflecting wholehearted worship. So yeah, I think there's a whole lot more to this than what we've really.
A whole lot more.
Yeah, a whole lot. Yeah, whole lot of Lot's wife.
All right. Yeah. So I got two things. So one is you were talking about if you get a headache or whatever, pinch of salt, that kind of thing. Good mineral content salt. So we're told to drink these sports drinks with electrolytes, right? What is electrolytes? It's basically sodium, right? It comes from salt, right?
Right.
Why? Because by having that salt, it allows your body to absorb the water.
Yep.
Because if you just drink a bunch of water, you're just gonna get it. It's gonna go in and go out, right?
Yep.
So you need that mineral content. You need that sodium for your body to absorb it properly, so that it can be used and rehydrate your body. And when you sweat, your sweat is very salty, right?
Yep.
When you cry, your tears are salty. You're losing minerals when you're doing that stuff. So
Did you do a taste test, Kyle? How did you find this out?
I've cried a lot, and it just kind of goes in the mouth,
Yeah, that's good stuff.
The other thing I was going to bring up is when people go to the ocean, just even if they don't get in the water, but getting in the water, right? When you get out, you're like, oh, I gotta wash off because you got salt all over you, right? But getting in the water, being in that salt water is very revitalizing. And or just being on the beach, breathing that salt air in seems to just kind of allow you to feel better.
Yep.
Your muscles don't ache as much. Your bones don't crack as much.
Is that why all the old people go to Florida?
I would assume
Well,
so.
a lot of them are already salty, so.
So I mean, hey, probably a whole lot more to this that we're missing out on.
Hey, look, I have no problem either if that means I gotta do whatever I need to do on my part to honor my Heavenly Father before cooking the red meat. You know, hey, so be it. It's no
Make
big
it taste
deal.
good while you're at it.
Yeah.
When you're not feeling well, you go soak in a bath full of Epsom salt, right?
Epsom salt, right?
Yeah. Okay, so now I got a question, because since we're on the topic, what do you guys think about this theory of what the Himalayan salt is?
Oh,
have you seen or heard of that?
I ain't gonna lie to you now. When I see the pictures,
salt?
I'm like, man.
What do you think about the pink salt?
So what I've heard, I'm assuming we're all on the same page here, but what I've heard is it's supposedly this Himalayan pink salt is supposedly what the remains that is left over from Nephilim. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. That's one theory that I've heard. Yeah. What do I think about it?
Yeah, what do you think about it? Because I've heard the same thing of it's like flesh and stuff that's been petrified.
If the pictures we're seeing are the for real pictures, some of it does make me question, like, oh gosh.
I haven't seen any pictures. I've just heard
seen pictures.
Yeah, there's some weird ones. Because they'll go and show like full
you might have to pull
muscle patterns and like waves of like, you know how you would see like fat, stripes over top of muscle or whatever, but it's like white and then pink, and you're like, that looks oddly familiar. That's kind of weird. It could be Photoshop, just modern internet, but if you haven't seen it, look into some of this Himalayan giant people.
Oh no, I'm gonna need y'all to show me a picture like ASAP. I got to see this. I'm sure everybody listening right now is gonna want to see this too.
Here's all right. So
you got a good one.
I got a good one right here. Hold on. Best salt finds compare. Now this is all. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think all this is mostly coming out of China, right?
No, well, there's some in China. A lot of it's in.
I'm saying like
some of the Himalayas.
They're calling it Himalayan salt, but the stuff that I've seen was coming out of China, and it was like that wouldn't surprise me if they were like feeding us the remains of dead giants, but
it's the Yeti. The Yetis of old. So
let's see. Let's get. Why won't this picture? Let's see.
Well, if you want, you can just do like the Google search, and then you can just kind of like click on the individual ones that are in there. But yeah, they had the one I'm looking at now. It's a pork ribs next to pink salt mine.
Yeah.
And the pork ribs make it even worse because of like the unclean nature of it. Of like, So then not only are we not, maybe that it's not giant, but it could be pork salt from ancient times. So then they're like, oh, no matter what, we're gonna get you with some stuff you ain't supposed to have.
All right,
which is altogether gross.
Let me get this one up a little bit for us. We'll make this one nice and. All right, I got one photo here.
Is there anything biblical about how to? I mean, I don't remember anything about anything like this, but is there something about how to harvest salt in any scripture? Like what is a good salt or a bad salt or any of that stuff? Have y'all seen it? Oh, that's weird. That's a cave. That's a salt cave.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. When I was in Austria,
big
we
old
went to a
slabs
giant
of bacon right there.
Dude, I can't believe that creature had light bulbs in it.
I know, right? And they've got better ones on there. If I had time to search them out, they've got, where the way they cut it up, it literally looks like someone just took a big old chunk of meat and like just put it down. It's like, oh,
that's crazy. I mean, it's pretty.
Hey Joe, I put 2 in the chat if you want to pull those up. I don't know how to do the whole sharing thing. I'm not cool yet.
You put it in the chat?
Yeah, in our studio chat. But yeah, so whenever you were looking at these mines, whenever I was in when I was in,
okay, I got to share this one because this one's definitely Photoshop. But
yeah, when I was in Austria, we went to a salt mine, and you're like way under the ground. They're telling you like a mile under the ground, and like it doesn't look like this. This is a very fantastic version of it, but it is crazy to see how far down it goes, and it goes to the premise of like the petrified trees that are now mountain plateau looking things, and the petrified mountains that somehow have all these humanistic characteristics all over the place and dragon characteristics all over the place. So just makes you wonder, like, how much of this stuff is worth looking into.
Yeah, I mean, but did the people of old, did they have mines and tunnels that was, hundreds of feet underground getting salt, or did they just take the salt water and do a distillation process where water and salt was separated?
I think they did a lot of that, because I mean that's mega easy mode. Like the Dead Sea, they just literally go in there and just like
Scoop
salt.
it. Yeah. right.
Let me see how this. So here's a bunch of different photos. You see the one to the far right? Looks like somebody just cut up some.
That looks like slabs of ham over there.
Yep, and then of course the one in the middle there with the three guys next to that big.
Good gracious!
But
that's wild, man.
Yeah, so it's
it is crazy how that looks like marbled meat. You know what I mean? It really does.
But Joe, if you want, open that back up and scroll on just a little bit. The two I was going to show you were right on that screen.
Oh, okay.
Because there's two that are like the most like, what is this? Because they have more red than pink.
Mm.
You're like, what is that? Is it moving for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me.
Scroll down a little bit more. Right there in the middle. Those two right there in the.
Oh yeah, right here.
That one, yeah, that one and the one right next to it.
Yeah, pork ribs.
Click on it.
And...
Tell me it doesn't look like meat. That's side by side. How you would never know,
bro.
And then the one next to it, that looks like a cow leg or the bottom of some kind of animal. The one right next to it, yeah, that one.
So who knows? I mean,
yeah, craziness.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, we can make anything like anything, but still.
Yeah.
It is things
that make you go,
Yeah. So I guess my question is, how much stock do we put into this? And
soup stock, a lot.
Like, where do we draw the line? Like, what's?
Yeah.
I will say this: one of the reasons why I don't use pink salt is because I've heard that the majority of the sources that you're going to get it from is going to have contamination with other stuff,
right.
Like it's heavy metal, lead, and stuff like that. So,
is that being led by the Spirit?
I don't know.
Yeah. Now I will tell you from the little bit I researched it, the Celtic salt seems to be one of the better ones. If you're going to get one with the mineral content and the purity and all that stuff.
Baja Gold.
Really
Baja Gold. That's the one. Yep.
That's supposedly like the next new best one.
Yeah.
Of course.
Celtic was the old best one.
Right.
Hey, if you don't want to eat Nephilim, here, try Baja.
Nice.
It'd be a great commercial.
Absolutely.
Sales would be up.
Think about this: if Himalayan sea salt is the remains of Nephilim, you literally are consuming the blood.
Of
these fallen creatures.
Well, I mean, if it's salt, all that blood would have been gone by now. That's for sure.
All right.
And I wouldn't want to be eating them creatures, but I mean, salt is a mineral. Everything organic has minerals.
Yeah.
Right?
How do you think they grew to be 500 feet tall?
Plants pull it up from the soil, right?
Right.
There's just no way for us to know anything like that. So
yeah.
How would we judge any of that?
I don't know. But again, like you said, just for the sake of it's not a good salt to consume. I don't think either. That's why I don't have or I don't use Himalayan salt. So, but anyway, some more stuff to scratch your head about. Go.
So have you guys heard the acronym SALT in the Bible? What you ever heard
the acronym?
Mm-hmm. Or the acrostic or whatever it's called. I don't know. SALT, serving and learning together. Never heard that one. And then the other SALT that's been popularized recently because of the new tax codes and all that stuff is state and local taxes. Is there a salt tax? So we have a salt tax
if that's
today.
salt, I don't know if I want to know what light is. You know?
Well, you think about you were talking about back in the day, man. You think about that. Is salt had value, still has value today.
Oh yeah.
But that was like back then. It was like that was a big deal to have good salt and not salt that was pretend salt or fake salt or it was a
Because
way of life.
they used to mix it, right? That's how they knew, like, if you were worth your weight in salt, they would get that phrase. So by the way, if you haven't heard the phrase, be worth your weight in salt, was they would add like junk to salt all the time, like random sand. I think it was sand.
Yeah, they
actually.
would take sand. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so that way, whenever you weigh it out, you're like, hey man, sand is great. It's tons of weight in here, which is nuts. You know what I mean? That people have been trying to cheat and scam forever. And you're like, man, salt. It's like God made salt like almost infinite. What are you cheating for? I know back then it's probably hard to get it, but
well, and you think too. I mean, I've talked about this in a sermon a long time ago, and I did a sermon on we're the salt of the world and all that stuff, and they taught one of the things too is they would use it for fertilizer, right? Didn't you use salt for fertilizer, and it was also used for covering up your poop when you went to the
they would use it
bathroom
for a
back
little
then.
bit.
So I think that was part of the fertilizer part was they would you can use it for that, so that when you went to the bathroom, you'd have a little thing of salt over there, so you could put it on top of it to decompose it quicker. Yeah,
Well, you can definitely help remineralize the soil with salt. Obviously, you have to be much more careful about it.
right.
Burn it up.
Yeah, for sure. But you can also find that in a lot of places where you have like saltwater canals and things like that, like Georgia and South Carolina has tons of that along the coastline, right? You have these canals that goes up into the land, and when it floods, you'll find that a lot of times, if it's next to someone's yard, the yard dies. But if it floods a wooded area, it doesn't. And a lot of that has to do with the covering. So that's a whole nother thing that we could get into.
Oh, wow.
If you go into the wood line, the floor of the forest or the floor of the woods is covered with dead leaves, dead pine needles, dead limbs, all that stuff that's fallen over time. It turns into mulch, which turns into compost. It turns into compost, all that stuff, right? So all of that soaks up the salt. And so, when it rains, it just over time, it actually does become a type of fertilizer, if you will, because it remineralizes all the plants and stuff, which is really cool. It doesn't just overdo it and kill them. So that's kind of crazy.
All right, so here you go. I like that. Here you go. It says what salt means in fertilizers. It says chemist define salt broadly, any compound made of a positive and negative ions. Common fertilizers, salts include ammonium nitrate, which provides nitrogen. Potassium chloride provides potassium. Magnesium sulfate, also known as Epsom salt, we talked about that earlier, provides magnesium and sulfur. These salts dissolve in water, releasing ions that plants absorb as nutrients. So how much more, since we came from the ground, that we need these are essential minerals for us as well.
NPK, that's the 3 main requirements for plants to thrive. Yeah.
Is that a rap group?
Nitrogen, potassium, and phosphate.
Yep.
NPK. Get these minerals. So, okay. So, Joe, you brought up the conversation. We kind of got into the salt there, but you remember we started talking about blood, right?
Right. That's where it all began.
Eating blood, drinking blood, doing anything with blood is a no.
Tapping into the side of cows' necks. We got it, man. What's up?
Yeah.
And salt, at least at some points in history, had an equal value to gold.
Did it? Are you sure?
Yep.
I think I remember reading that. Wasn't it also like that's what the whole spice trade thing was about, right?
I looked it up while we were, but I didn't bring it up a minute ago. My bad. It says at various points in history, salt was considered as valuable as gold. And in some instances, an ounce of salt could be traded for an ounce of gold. It is it's high value, stemmed from its essential role in food preservation, nutrition, and its scarcity in certain regions, which made it a key trade commodity and a form of currency. So
that makes a lot of sense, because you think you can't eat. I mean, you can a little bit, but you can't eat gold. You know what I mean? Like,
ever had gold slogger?
I was like, I mean, technically, you can have a little flex
You're
here. Look. But have you seen those like gold plated steaks and stuff, and gold plated stuff that you can get like the super fancy restaurants where they put the gold flake on it? Regardless, but yeah. But you know, if you're thinking back in the day and you're like, hey, you need your society to survive, and you're like, okay, we got 900 bricks of gold, but all of our food is rotten. Guess what? Your gold's worth nothing then. So you could see how easily your value is going to change based on necessity. And so, yeah, you're like, salt? We need that to live. So, yeah, we'll give you 1 bar of gold for 1 bar of salt. We don't care. Just hurry up with the salt.
Yep.
That's wild.
Well, here you go, Kyle. I'll back up what you're saying. It says the economic value of salt. I just put in the old world. It says was equal to gold. In many ancient societies, salt was traded ounce for ounce with gold.
That's wild.
Roman soldiers were sometimes paid in salt.
Nah.
Yeah. That's
giving
right.
rise to the word
Check it out.
salarium, the root of our modern word salary.
Okay.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Wow. I just learned something new today. Trade routes, it says salt mines and caravans shaped major trade networks. In West Africa, salt was transported across the Sahara in exchange for gold, grain, and textiles. Taxation and status, salt was taxed heavily in empires, and possessing fine salt became a mark of wealth and prestige. Is that the coarse salt or the fine salt?
Was salt snob. All right, my bad, Jonathan. I didn't mean to get you off topic.
No, you're good. No, so I was I grossed you guys out earlier with the sticking the arrow in the neck of the cow, right?
So what you got now?
Are you still thoroughly upset in the stomach, or you recovered?
Oh, you gonna do it again?
I'm gonna go all the way. So if you feel okay with it, I'm gonna go ahead and let you in on this. Have you heard the new trend that some men, but mostly women, are doing recently with blood? No? Okay. So, this is so gross. So it's like, it was like a big deal. Like, I mean, it's hitting the news articles and stuff. So it's more than just internet craze. So, you know, they said there's life in the blood, and people are trying to figure out, you know, the whole, there's the conspiracy stuff out there, but these current ladies are using part of their natural anatomy and phases of time.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. No, where you no. I probably don't want to hear this.
And they're like, hey, you know, we would like to revitalize the skin on our face, and let's try this. Try it on for size. What do you think about that?
I think let's go back to eating giants and talking about other things.
Modern trend. People are taking pictures, doing videos, showing themselves participating in this activity of making their skin better.
Okay, I'm gonna double down, but switch the subject a little bit. We'll go gross for gross here.
Oh boy.
In the for the sake of beauty and healthcare and all that kind of good stuff. So, all right, in stem cell research, people are paying like upwards of $25,000 or more for a single stem cell dosage to be delivered into their system or whatever, right? I have learned, and now the harvesting of that is another story for another time, right? All kind of crazy bad stuff with that.
Right.
Well, I went down this very odd rabbit hole not too long ago. And I'm still learning about it, but apparently pharmaceutical companies harvest urine.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't know, the when you urinate, that is a filtration of the blood. It's not about, you know, just getting liquid out of your body, it's a blood filtration type situation going on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
which is why pregnancy tests and stuff work.
Correct.
Right.
So, and drug tests and all that, right? So it's testing what's in the bloodstream. Okay. So, with that being said, there is a doctor out there that's basically coming out and saying, you're insane for paying 25,000 plus for these stem cells because you can produce it yourself.
Did you say you're insane?
Yeah, man, you took that one from me. I was going to let Kyle finish what he was saying, so I didn't interrupt him. I was like,
is that what I heard? You're insane?
You're insane.
So apparently what can be done is now, I don't know the whole process. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just throwing this out there, but this is what I heard. That one, if you don't want to do this if you are sick, because what's being filtered out of your body, but if you're healthy, taking in good nutrition and all that kind of good stuff, you can store your own urine, because your own urine is for your body, right? And in a matter of 21 days, it will produce the stem cells that your body needs and can be reintroduced to the body via a couple of different ways. And therefore, you now have new stem cells that will do all kind of wonders, supposedly for anti-aging, healing the body, and all kinds of stuff. So, yay, blood and pee! What a great episode!
Wow.
Well, I heard they're going to try to use it because it's good for your breath because it's fermented, and that's ridiculous. Period.
I need some mints after that.
Yeah, that's yeah. I'm gonna end this on a good note, a funny note. Okay, talking about salt. We're gonna get all this urine stuff get it out of your brain, all this stuff. Okay, I shared this before a long time ago, but I know we got newer listeners and everything else. So I live in the South, and sweet tea is a staple of a lot of people's lives, and I would make my sweet tea. Now, I haven't really drank sweet tea in a long time because I'm trying to cut out on the sugars a lot. And anyway, so we boil the water, put the tea bags in there, and then I would take the pitcher and I would just kind of eyeball the sugar. I never measure it. Just kind of like, oh, that looks pretty good. About that deep in the bottom, so
9 cups.
I did that. This has been probably 15 years ago, 16 years ago. Let me tell you something. If you really want to mess with your head, mess with your brain, and you drink something with the anticipation, what I would do is I would take it fresh.
I know where this is going.
I'd get ice in a big old cup, fill it all the way up, and the tea is still warm and poured over the top, and I would just sit there and listen to the ice cubes cracking and popping in there, and I'm just like,
Joe's having an experience.
I am. I was having a spiritual moment, and
the ice was real cold.
And oh yeah, and you go to like just. And and it's still got a little bit of that warmness left in it, even though it's in the ice cubes, and you're taking that first sip.
First sip, buddy.
And I didn't realize, but I probably put 2 cups of salt because we have containers. We have a container that we put our sugar in, and someone decided to put salt in the container instead of sugar. Now, when you're looking at it, eyeballing it, you ain't seeing no different. And I put at least 2 cups worth of salt. And I'm gonna tell you something. You want to talk about you go, what did I just do?
And a little reset.
Like it just, that's got to be like when you having your moment, and all of a sudden it's like it's gone. It's like that's a wrap. I don't care. There was no coming back. It took me about a week to get over that one, and I think
how long did it take for your face to fold back inside, right side out? I'd have been, drawn up, buddy.
Yeah, so it was. I didn't tell anybody at first. It took me a while to tell.
Like he's embarrassed. It was embarrassing.
I was like, well, that was a whole picture of, yeah.
Should have saved it for the kids, man.
Now, you should have marketed it. Hey, come over here and drink a cup of Dead Sea water.
Hey, it'd work.
Yeah.
We should bottle that up and sell it.
Well, if you're talking about drinking your own urine, why not?